This next poem is called Ode to Sales Managers. Gentlemen, we appreciate your effort, how you always come into a new dealership filled with generosity, offering love, success, power better than power, the power to give power. I'm gonna make you guys more money than you can believe. We know what you mean. As young salesmen, we all dropped our hope onto that hook at one time. That hook we may have needed, telling us hopefully, maybe, this new guy's not so bad. He's certainly better than that asshole they just blew out, that's for sure. Only to have our wishes turn on us and realize that our new friend isn't a friend at all. Just a new boss with a new, different favorite set of rules to beat us with. He wants to make a name for himself. God, guys, how you enjoy your own meetings so much. How you enjoy the speeches you give there. How powerful they make you feel. And you make us watch. Can't you touch yourself in private? So many sales managers I have met threw rules into a deal that had nothing to do with selling a car. Oh, sure, they come under the guise of helping out. They always come to you as friends, but they were just spikes to stick us with in the middle of the deal. Whether we were over the moon, we had this fucking coconut hooked on this car. We were gonna wrap him up. We were gonna stuff him. Or whether we were holding our guts in our hands. And we've all been in car deals where we were just trying to pull through. Those moments when we didn't need anything extra piled on top, yes, then sales managers, we could always count on you for your generosity. You know, if you really knew anything about selling cars, you would remember what a car deal is like and how idiotic it is to interrupt us right in the middle. Sales managers who always told you they would make you better, but most of them were too busy puncturing your deals so they could invent new patches for punctures and take credit for it. I had managers who would grade how well you were doing in the deal right now, don't move, you, who never even looked at your work when telling you the customer hot on the car back at your desk, what's going on? You didn't get this guy's email address? And they would always send you back to your desk, to the customer who was waiting for numbers, even though they knew, or they sure as hell should have known, the wrench in the performance, the experience that threw. The whole car deal is based on tempo. The whole deal is based on emotion, which has rhythms and rules all its own. So there would be that strange withdrawing to the desk that asked the customer, what's your email address? Which some salesmen would ask with no explanation before or after, just, what's your email? There was always a stun from the desk. There was always a ringing from the thud they like putting on your head there. And the desk always never considered that maybe leaving that out of the deal was more valuable than an email address right now. The only good side effect of prolonged exposure was learning to be deaf to what people were saying, to just block them out completely. But, isn't it bad to force blackouts onto your salesmen? Why do we need to know how to use our ears to work a car deal? Really? You should be pampering our fucking ears. They make you more money than anything. But, oh no, an old school philosophy is approaching. Customers buy cars because we tell them to, right? Who cares about what they want? Who cares about the skill of paying attention? Selling cars is having that skill of paying attention. But nobody ever teaches that. Sales managers actually thought that was the best way to sell someone a car, not paying attention to what was going on with the customer. Now, I'm not talking about a good deal. I'm not talking about treating someone the way they want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated. Treating the customer as the person they want to be seen as, the person they think they're wearing on the outside. You have to really understand someone to sell them a car. That's how you become a good car salesman. But I have met very few sales managers who knew anything about how to make a good car salesman. I've met many more who were more concerned with showing off their tower of glass, newly shined, freshly stroked, standing straight up, out in the open, in the pale hope of radiating a power as far as everyone could see, putting off a chaotic force that they couldn't stand to be without, because they had come to believe in this identity. It's what existed where some more important part of them should be. Nobody ever gets into this business by choice, someone once told me. You have to fail at something else first. Whatever that person was before, whatever they had been, they were trying to cover up that black mark with a title. They thought that stamp, those words on a business card, that desk, that salary could replace some unknowable thing that had been taken from them. Something they had never known long enough to really understand what it was, or where it went when it was gone, and why it left such a gap. The only thing left was to be the same male force that they had been beaten with, the same one that destroyed the most important part of themselves, because I guess they couldn't afford to lose anything else. And maybe it felt good to use this skill that they knew they learned too late to save what mattered most. Everything since was just damage control. Maybe that feeling, standing on their fortune of rules, puffing out their chests, was as close as they could get to feeling there, somewhere. Maybe power out of control was all they ever knew. Maybe they just don't exist as anything but a straight line of force now. Maybe the next time you see a little boy trying to take up as much space in front of you, you should remember how far he has had to travel to get here, and who, after all these years, he is trying to impress. Little boys trying to play dad. I guess it's not exactly a new story.